two options, do a talk or don't do a talk. I'm guessing all of you know which one I picked. If you don't, here's a hint. I'm here, talking right in front of you. Of course, I couldn't just be like, I'm gonna do a talk, straight to giving a talk. I'm not that good at improv. So my next course of action was to choose a topic. This is where I ran into a problem with my decision-making process. There was now so many choices, and I had to pick just one. So I decided to make a list and narrow it down from there. I thought of 5 top ideas, and then left it alone for a bit. I decided to sleep on it and make my decision the next day. I think most of you know that's not what happened. I mean, I got halfway there, I slept on it. But I woke up and thought, what if I'm missing a brilliant idea? So I wrote down just a couple more ideas. I found so many more ideas, and of course I didn't want to miss any, so I decided to keep an open list and write down ideas as they came. So I wrote down more ideas, and a couple more. Realistically, this list was written down in my illegible handwriting, and with plenty of notes for each talk. So I've done this all the favor of transcribing and simplifying it. This went so well that when the time came to start narrowing down the options, I had a lot of slimming to do. Now I'll admit, some of my ideas were pretty bad, but the rest I couldn't choose between. I only had one speech, and I unfortunately know from personal experience that trying to mash that many ideas together would not create a comprehensible anything. Sorry, past English teachers. Now, at this point, I'd spent so much time hemming and hawing over what topic to choose that I only had 3 days to present a rough draft. And I hadn't even chosen a topic. This was a problem. I was back to my original crossroads. Make a decision on the topic and give a speech on one of my ideas, or don't choose and run out of time to give a speech. Once again, with less choices, my path was simple. I had to make a decision. No matter what I did, I was making a decision. Even by not choosing, I was making a decision to not give a speech and to lose an opportunity. Then, I had one more idea. The problem I had just run into was the core of indecisiveness. It is not making a decision it was making a decision through not making a decision or an action. There we go. This is a rather dramatic tale. Sometimes indecisiveness is in the little things, like not eating lunch because you don't know what to eat, or not working on your homework because you don't know what to work on. So you might scroll on social media for just a couple of minutes or hours. And these things have short-term consequences. Don't eat for long enough and you might get hungry, or worse, hangry. Don't procrastinate on your homework and you might get behind and have to stay up late to catch up. But even these things add up. Don't eat for long enough and you form bad eating habits and might have bad nutrition. Get behind enough on your homework and you might fail class or have to spend a lot of time cramming to catch up. Even though you're not making a decision, the end result is that there's an inadvertent reaction, whether it is a lack of action or loss of opportunity. Therefore, indecision is a decision, and it's rarely the right one. There are big and small decisions, and likewise, there are big and small consequences to indecision. In the bigger example of my talk, the consequences of my indecision was having less time to write my talk and the possibility of not giving a talk. And all over, indecisiveness can lead to a loss of a lot of opportunities that could become something positive. For example, it could be tempting to allow college or job application deadlines to pass rather than just choosing a couple to focus on and apply to. I think we have established that indecision is a problem, and it is one with consequences. So this is the part of the talk where I start offering solutions and suggestions. Based on my tone, I think you know that it's not going to be quite that simple. The thing is, I don't think there's only one solution. I mean, there isn't one solution to any problem. This, however, is a personal problem. So different things will work for different people. For some people, just finding the deadline and taking one small decision at a time for bigger things work. But this is a vague plan and can lead to some unforeseen problems. For me, I have two main methods of making decisions, as I find most decisions, no matter how big or small they are, fit into two categories: ambiguous and finite. Ambiguous decisions have a lot of answers. There's no set one or two. It's not multiple choice. This is the free response part of life. Finite decisions, on the other hand, do have set options. This or that. This is the multiple choice part of life. For ambiguous decisions, one way of working through them is making a flowchart, making bigger decisions lead to smaller sets of decisions rather than one unimaginable decision. This allows you to categorize things and narrow down options. You can see the biggest decisions in a more finite lens. Take what to eat, for example. There's the flowchart. You can start at a simple decision. Do I want a snack or a meal? Or the inadvertent consequence of not eating. Then, from there, decide what kind of meal, and so on and so forth. This is the order I put the process in. Different orders and processes work for different people. The important thing is just having